Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, July 5th. I got off work and I'm like, well, it's movie day. What do I want to watch? Because I have finished the Harry Potter films. So I'm moving on. And I'm, of course, moving back to the shelf here that I'm, is this year's resolution to watch all the movies and pull all the movies on that shelf forward. So what do I want to watch? Okay. And I was thinking, okay, so there's a couple movies on here that I've never seen, and I don't have a whole lot of motivation to watch. Maybe since I've watched some good movies, I should just get one of those out of the way, and no. Because I don't have the motivation. I don't want to. Because I've never seen it, so I don't know if it's good. I don't know. So maybe once there's some of the last movies left on the shelf, that'll help me motivate to watch them. And then I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've seen a good musical. Maybe I should watch Grease. Yeah, let's do that. And so I looked, all the movies here, I'm putting them in the cases as I watched them. But the movies are actually stored in binders in my closet because for years, I have not dedicated this much shelf space to be able to see what movies I own. And it wasn't until I did this that I started thinking, oh, I should start watching movies again. So, but all the actual discs are in binders in my closet. And so I have two versions of Grease on the shelf right here. One says full screen, one says widescreen. I don't want to watch full screen. Why would I want to do that? So I go in the closet and I see the full screen one, but the widescreen one is missing. And when I check my collection, like that I keep track of on my phone, I actually don't have it listed. And I'm wondering if for some reason, and I don't know why, I've had many of these movies for so long I have trouble remembering where they came from. But if for some reason I might have ended up just getting the box for a widescreen version, but not the movie, and I kept it. I don't know, maybe, because there have been times in my life where I've kept all sorts of things that I'm like, why do you keep this? It's stupid. But until I make the decision to get rid of them, anyways, so I guess I will have to order. I'm gonna love Grease. I love Grease. It's it was a musical I loved before I figured out, oh, I just like musicals. So I might as well order it on Blu-ray or something. So maybe I'll do that, but that means not today. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll watch something a little silly. Nickelodeon presents Good Burger. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? It's Kenan and Kel. Silly children's movie that I liked quite a bit as a child. I do not know how I will feel about it now as an adult. I'm sure there'll be some degree of nostalgia at least. But it has been a long time since I've seen this. But yeah, so I guess I will check out Good Burger. And I would give Good Burger a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. Bit childish, quite silly. It's alright. From the back of the box, Kenan and Kel are serving up laughs. They're the good guys in Good Burger, a zany comedy inspired by the popular Kel routine from Nickelodeon's series All That. Man, I loved All That when I was a kid. Can fast food counter dudes Ed, Kel Mitchell, and Dexter, Kenan Thompson, battle big business? That's the order of the day when Mondo Burger's high-tech hamburger haven opens across the street from the tiny Good Burger diner. Catch up with the gags as Ed and Dexter scramble to save their jobs and stop Mondo Burger's bid for fast food domination. Co-starring Sinbad and featuring cameos by Hoopster Shaquille O'Neal, Funkster George Quinton, and others, Good Burger is one tasty comedy. Co-starring Sinbad? He has a role that appears a few times during the movie, but at no time would star fit into it. He's not that present. Although they teach it, like, they treat him like he's one of the villains, like, enough, like, oh, he's got to get his comeuppance in the end. When really, he's a really good guy. He's a teacher that looks at Dexter and says, this kid has more potential than he's willing to live up to, and encourages him. Then, when Dexter crashes into his car and blames Ed for it, even though Ed was on his roller skates and Dexter was driving without a license in a technically stolen car. It was from his mother, but she didn't know, and he took it without permission, so doing that, so clearly being the foul in there, the teacher was even willing to work with him to not just throw him to the cops for all the laws he was just breaking, because he wanted to see more from the kid. Really excellent individual. And they treat him like he's some sort of villain because he encourages Dexter to work over the summer instead of just relax and do nothing with all of his time. How terrible. And thus, the change from childhood, where I'm sure I saw him as, yes, he's a villain. How dare he want you to work? Vacation. The keyword is vacation. To an adult where, no, he's trying to help you out, dude. He's trying to make you better. He wants more for you than you want for yourself. That's a good thing. Anyways, so, whatever, yeah. Dexter crashes into his teacher's car, owes money, so he has to get a summer job. And he doesn't cut it from Mondo Burger because he's too incompetent, but then is perfectly competent once he gets to Good Burger. Ed is crazy. Shenanigans, stupid comedy kind of stuff. Story progresses to Mondo Burger is evil and they're poisoning people with illegal chemicals in order to make their burgers big. I mean, yeah, imagine this. They're like taking their meat and they're putting a chemical in it to make their meat bigger after the animal's been killed instead of before. How ridiculous. We in the real world have learned you always apply your chemicals to the living animals to make them grow bigger, not just to the meat so it enlarges in the oven. Duh. I'm like, this is from 97. And part of me does wonder, like, was it just considered kind of normal that a lot of, like, standard level meat is going to have just strange chemicals as part of its creation? Or was that actually, like, that was, like, a wild concept at the time? I don't know. But it's kind of the assumption today that the quality of meat you're getting at all the fast food places, of course, was grown with chemicals. Probably chemicals, you know, given to the animals, but, yeah, that's just assumed. But it's the plot for the movie is how terrible it is. Anyways, so when they find out what's going on, Ed and Dexter, they get thrown in the insane asylum, and that's some fun scenes. But they manage to break out after finding out from someone else that the Mondo Burger guy, Kurt, has also put poison in Ed's secret sauce, which Mondo Burger opened. It was going to wipe Good Burger off the map, but they discovered Ed made his own sauce and it was good, so that, you know, has been allowing the company, like, saved the company, and they're still competing with Mondo Burger's giant burgers. But then we find out that Mondo Burger broke in and poisoned the sauce. With shark poison, no less. So they have to break out and stop anyone from eating it by tackling an old lady. Then they gotta break into Mondo Burger and make sure the cops get involved to find out what they've been doing and shut them down for using illegal food additives. So much is like, whatever. It's a silly comedy. It's a children's comedy. I am no longer the target audience for this movie. But there is definitely some aspect of me that I'm like, how much did I watch this? Because there's little phrases in there, and I don't know. There's just some things, some way things are said. Some things that like are in my head, like that I didn't know were like I didn't remember were from this movie, but my brain was like, oh, I say that. Like when he looks at the contract. I know some of these words. I'm just like, that, divorced from this movie, that thought, that joke has entered my head definitely a lot more recently than I've seen this. I'm like, so that's where that's from. Statements like, no. I don't know. There's just things that are in my head. Things that are in my head, and I'm like, I watched this a lot as a kid, I bet. And I do notice on here, they're like surfing on what looks like orange soda. And maybe it's just orange because it's Nickelodeon. But part of me is like, was this after the Kenan and Kel was also a movie that they were... I mean, because there's no orange soda. But when Kenan and Kel was like a show, it was, you know, who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. Is it true? I do. So I'm just wondering if it's like supposed to be orange soda, which would be a fast food beverage, but it's not really part of the movie. But they're like surfing on it, on like a pickle and a tomato, which is really weird. But yeah, there's just absurdity. It is absurd. But it made me chuckle, so it gets a 6. And that's one more movie pulled forward on the shelf. Continuing that progress. I'm gonna do it. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues. Bye.